forsaken booth. The truth is you sadly mistaken. Proof I'm better than layman. Shoot, I'm super.
All right, let's talk about Impact Wrestling from October the 28th, 2021. All right, Impact opens the show with Moose, who is the new world champion. He's immediately attacked by Eddie Edwards, who hates Moose, and it goes back a long way. Moose beat him up, though, so that was really good. I also like how other people are offended on Josh Alexander's behalf. I do like that. Moose admits that he did horrible things to people to become the world champion. He has zero sympathy for Josh Alexander. And that because of the way he won the title, he is already the greatest champion in the business. Doesn't matter how elite you are. Doesn't matter what tribe you're the chief of. And you could add a new day to the week, but he's still the greatest. And if you think he was vile and horrible to get it, just imagine what you think he'll do to keep it. This led Josh Alexander to jump into the ring to try to beat him up. He flees Josh Alexander. Then Minoru Suzuki appears out of nowhere, and him and Alexander get into a very boring forearm exchange, where I believe he busts Alexander's nose or his lip. And I was just kind of like, huh? Like, why? What's going on here? Like, I don't like, well, look, now that I think about it, I put some thought into it. Not sure how I feel about the first person to put their hands on Moose as a new world champion wasn't Josh Alexander. It was actually Eddie Edwards. Not sure how I feel about that. Eddie Edwards did hit him with a kendo stick and everything, too. And when it came to Josh Alexander, though, he got away. And then Josh Alexander promptly got busted open by a 52-year-old Suzuki. And he did a pull-apart brawl. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Backstage, Moose talked about pissing off a lot of people. And they said, but if there's any man who can handle it, it's him. Matt Cardona appeared and said, I was this close to beating you. Moose said since he won the world title, he learned one important thing. This close ain't close enough. This led to him and Matt Cardona throwing hands. Edwards and Cardona want to fight Moose. They go to Scott D'Amore, demand that, they get a match with Moose. Scott D'Amore says that if anybody's going to fight Moose, it's going to be Josh Alexander. So now it's going to be a 6-man tag. It's going to be next week. Josh Alexander plus Eddie Edwards plus Matt Cardona versus Moose, and if he can find 2 partners. Then we find that Josh Alexander is absolutely strangling a referee over in the corner. He is absolutely giving this guy problems. He's giving him the blues. Scott D'Amore get in there and separate him. He wants to know what the hell's got into him. And Josh Alexander says, look, man, it's not about the belt anymore. Screw that belt. My wife was in the ring. My kid was in the ring when this whole thing happened. They were in harm's way, and this idiot ref actually rang the bell while my family was in the ring. And Scott D'Amore was like, you know what? I can understand that. I get that. But I can't just have you running around here choking up refs. You need to stay focused. And said that he was the best and that he was the face of the company and that he's already made the 6-man tag. But he said that he wants him to prove Christian wrong, that he's not emotional and that he's not the guy who's going to run around here and fly off the handle. So Moose ends up finding his 2 partners, Minoru Suzuki and William Morrissey. He and Morrissey had a tense conversation in which he had promised Morrissey a title shot if Morrissey helped him. And Suzuki joined in because he wants to fight Josh Alexander. So that's, I don't know, man. 6-man tag? Okay, I guess that's all right. I guess there's enough there. And I think they're banking on a lot of people wanting to see Minoru Suzuki. But are we brainwashing ourselves into thinking Minoru Suzuki is some huge draw in the United States? Because it seems to me like he's not. Right? Like, it's not like they really, really, really go out of the way to promote him when he shows up on these shows. Like, I'm glad that a guy his age can have a career resurgence, but he's not interesting enough for me. The first match was Rocky Romero versus Trey Miguel for the X Division title. Rocky Romero is also not interesting to me. Steve Maclin attacked Trey post-match. Of course, he complained that he never got beat in the X Division championship thing. There will be a number one contenders match next week, which Maclin will be a part of. So there that go. Jordan Grace is the digital media champion, and says due to her large following, she thinks she's going to be able to appropriately define the digital media championship. Tasha Steelz came out there, facetiously laughed, and said that Rachel Ellering is a loser. Then that leads to them having a match, which Tasha Steelz lost via a backslide. It was awful. Rachel Ellering is not interesting. Maybe if she turned heel or something, she'd be interesting. Tasha Steelz is okay. She's just very small. What part of the good part of the show is the inspiration. They do a backstage promo with Gia Miller. And to say that they fit in an Impact is an understatement. They are fantastic. And they're beautiful women. I really, in WWE sometimes it's hard to tell because you never know how much makeup people are wearing. And they're wearing, a fairly decent amount of makeup here, but the lighting and everything is just right. So they're like just rightly bronzed and, everything looks nice. And they're still kind of the Iconics too, So it's not too different from what they were doing before. They're, still finishing each other's sentences and talking in stereo and stuff like that, being very fun. I liked what they brought here, where they talked about wanting to give back. They're in Impact to give back, to inspire, and that they are worldwide stars and that they're Australian legends. You know where that one came from. That one came from the charisma of the group. What's the girl's name? Jessie McKay, Billy Kay. We're Australian legends. Then, of course, they cut when Gia Miller was asking too many questions. They very politely got rid of her by saying, "It was so nice to meet you." And Gia kept asking questions like, "So nice. So nice." I really like them, man. They're so goofy. But at the same time, it's a very interesting way of approaching the characters. And I love their work. I've always been a big fan of the Iconics, even though I know that they kind of ran their course in WWE. A resurgence and Impact is a good thing. So Joe Doring and Heath was supposed to have a match. It got tossed out due to everybody fighting. At this point, Rhino was in the ring. He was decking guys. He was about to hit Eric Young, but Eric Young reminded Rhino that he was injured, and Rhino took mercy on him. This led Eric Young to clothesline Rhino, and then we found out that Eric Young was faking his injury. He wasn't really hurt. So Violent by Design stomped out Heath and Rhino, beat the dog shit out of him, and that was not bad. I like Violent by Design. I like that we're continuing the story. Eric Young is preying on Rhino's weakness. That sickness is back in Rhino. That mercy. That not wanting to hurt a guy who's already hurt. I like that. Eric Young understands what ails Rhino, and he's going to take advantage of it. I like it. The Good Brothers are still in a feud with Finjuice. Fuck it all. Fuck it all. The Demon pops up with Gia. Swinger went on cut a promo on the Demon. Said that the Demon's here to swerve him, dressed up like Gene Simmons. And said that Scott D'Amore shut him down, and now he's the only man in Las Vegas without a casino. And that said that he told the Demon he and his kind are not wanted around here. The Demon was like, "My kind?" And Johnny Swinger said, "Demons." And this led to, I believe it was Decay show up, because Black Taurus showed up. And I think that other guy was Crazy Steve. And the Demons said, "Demons are welcome in Impact. And that's why I'm here." And I was like, oh no, it's going to be that kind of party. Not a fan. Mickie James come out, cut a promo, talked about how nobody's seen Deonna Purrazzo since she beat Deonna Purrazzo at Bound for Glory. But there's a locker room filled with women who want opportunities, and somebody surely will step up and take her place. And then here comes Madison Rayne, who is now using Tennille Dashua's theme song as her theme song. Where the hell did the Tennille go? In any event, Madison Rayne says that when people talk about pillars of the Knockouts division, her name is never mentioned, despite the fact that Mickie James constantly leaves and comes back, floats around to whoever will have her. That Madison Rayne stayed around and cultivated this decision. Mickie said that Madison Rayne left 3 times, which one of her times was her retirement, which was just last year. Anyway, Madison Rayne challenged Mickie James to a match, and Mickie James accepted. That match will be next week. And you know what? This is fine. This is fine for a first opponent. I get that they want to let it breathe. Let Mickie be champion for a little while. Take Deonna off TV. Give her a break. Let's establish Mickie James a little bit, even though I know she's a veteran. She doesn't really need a lot of establishment. But let us give her a couple of weeks of title run, before we give it back to Deonna. So, that ought to be fun. The main event, Ace Austin defeats Chris Sabin in a match that literally, I don't think it meant anything. Madman Fulton interfered, opened up the opportunity to hit the fold. Ace Austin wins a television main event for the first time in probably forever. And it's a match that nobody cares about in a with no real legitimate meaning to it. Typical Impact. Well, the big thing that took place on this show was the inspiration was there. I really, really liked them. I like their gimmick now is that they're superstars and they want to give back and share their light with others. Again, they're very beautiful, and I really didn't take into account how beautiful they were when they were in WWE. But maybe it was just the lighting and the way they were dressed here. They looking scrumptious. Minoru Suzuki is there. Not sure why. Josh Alexander wanting to fight Moose in something that doesn't resolve in him getting the world title back. I'm guessing Moose going to take a walk on that. I'm not going to look up at spoilers, but I'm guessing Moose going to walk out on that, or they're going to fight off. In any event, they've already seemingly moved Alexander on to Suzuki, which is, I don't think that's the right move. I think you have to finish this thing with Moose. And I'm thinking, there's got to be something to this Minoru Suzuki and Josh Alexander thing that I don't get. But, maybe I don't want to get it because I don't like Suzuki that much. But the 6-man tag ought to be fine. The X Division match ought to be fine. And Madison Rayne versus Mickie James ought to be really good. I'm always down to watch more Mickie James, even if I have to watch Madison Rayne. So we'll see what we can get out of it. And that's all next week. So they loaded the next week's show. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Your skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys